So just a quick video today. I wanted to talk a little bit about short calls and early assignment risk. You're at risk of being assigned early on short calls a lot of times because of dividends. Many stocks pay a dividend, and if that dividend happens to be more than the extrinsic value left on your short call option, you are at risk of potentially getting assigned early on that call. So if you're unfamiliar with what extrinsic value is, there's two types of value that make up an option's price. There's the intrinsic value, the real value of the option, meaning the in-the-money portion of the option. For example, let's imagine I have a 100 strike call on a stock that's currently trading at 105 per share. What is the intrinsic value of that option? Well, the intrinsic value is $5. It's $5 in the money. That's the real value of that option. If it got exercised right now, that's the value, right? That's the $5 I'm in the money, right? But there's also an extrinsic value component to options pricing. So that's the time and volatility that's baked into the options price. Now, that's not real value. That's why it's not intrinsic value. That's extrinsic value. That value only exists during the life of the contract, right? You know, if you got exercised right now, if you exercise that option, you actually wouldn't get paid for any of the extrinsic value. When the option is exercised, all you get is the intrinsic value of the option. And this is why nobody typically exercises an option early. I often talk about those of us that sell options primarily. A lot of us fear early assignment. Well, you almost never face early assignment because most of the time the people that are long those options are making a mistake if they exercise early, because by exercising early, they're throwing away all the extrinsic value left in that option. But there is one time where it kind of makes sense to go ahead and exercise early, especially on a call. And that's when the stock pays a dividend, especially if it pays a really juicy dividend. Sometimes that dividend can be so nice that it actually more than makes up the extrinsic value they're giving up by exercising that call option early. So it's real easy to actually tell if you're facing a situation where you're at risk on being assigned on a short call because of a dividend. For example, let me go to one of my stocks here. AVGO has a dividend coming out. It goes ex-dividend tomorrow. Now, AVGO does not pay a juicy dividend. Its dividend, let me look at the payment here. Let me actually click on AVGO and go to the overview here. Dividend, 59 cents was the last payment. So it's a very small little dividend, but 59 cents, it's something, right? So let's imagine I have a short call. I don't currently have a short call, but let's imagine I have a short call, and let's imagine that it expires in 9 days. So it's really close. Now, is my short call, let's imagine I've got this deep in the money call, because obviously you're only at risk of being early assigned, on something that's in the money, especially deep in the money. So in this case, AVGO is trading around $190 a share, but let's imagine I'm short the 175 call. So I'm already $15 in the money. Am I at risk of being early assigned here because of this upcoming dividend payment? Well, the dividend payment's 59 cents. So I need to figure out, is there more than 59 cents of extrinsic value left in this option? If there is, I'm not at risk of being early assigned. If there's less than 59 cents of extrinsic value in this option, it might be at risk of being early assigned. Well, the easy way you can tell how much extrinsic value is left in this option is you take the in the money portion. So if it was trading at an even 190, which it's not, but if it was, I could take 190 minus 175, that's $15 of intrinsic value, and the rest of the price would be the extrinsic value. But the real easy way here is just go to the corresponding put. So the call is in the money, but the corresponding put is out of the money. Now, an out of the money option does not have intrinsic value. Remember, intrinsic value is the in the money portion of the option. Well, in this case, the put here has no intrinsic value at all because it's not in the money, it's out of the money. So its entire value is extrinsic value. So that gives you a pretty good idea of how much extrinsic value is actually in this call. So in my case, this call option has an extrinsic value somewhere in the neighborhood of 146 cents, 147 cents, right? A buck 40. And that's quite a bit more than 59 cents, which is the dividend payment. So this call, in this case, is actually not at risk. But what if I went down all the way to the 162.50 call. Now let's take a look at the corresponding put, and you can see this put is only trading at about 38 cents. So 38 cents of extrinsic value is what is in this call option that I currently hold. Now the dividend payment's 59 cents. That's 20 cents more than the extrinsic value that's currently in this option. So someone could exercise early this call and I would be assigned 100 short shares of AVGO at 162.50 per share, and it would make sense for them to do so because they're not losing any money. Yeah, they're giving up, a little bit of extrinsic value, but the dividend payment they would now receive by having those shares more than makes up the extrinsic value they gave up. So in this case, this call option is at risk of being early assigned due to that dividend. So that's just a quick little tip. If you're ever wondering, hey, is this short call at risk of being early assigned because of a dividend, all you need to do, go find the corresponding put and see what that's currently trading at, because that's all extrinsic value. And if this value is less than the upcoming dividend payment, you could be early assigned. So that's just a neat little trick, it's something that doesn't get talked about a lot. It's one of those kind of old trading hacks, a back of the envelope way to quickly figure out intrinsic value and extrinsic value in an option. And by knowing those values, the intrinsic value and the extrinsic value, that can really tell you whether you're at risk of that early assignment. Take care, guys. Peace.